we've got a good start by Joe Baden, Bouncy in second place, and we've got Ezin in third. We're on board with David Final Form. He is going to go alongside Bouncy in third place. They're all going a little bit wide there. That's going to allow Joe Baden to get ahead here. Bouncy on the inside of David Final Form. Brakes a little bit too late there. Bouncy said he's been getting some tips and tricks from Joe Baden. Looks like it served him well. He's in second place at the moment. He's going to go a little bit wide. We're going to have a 3 wide as we go down the hill. Everything is nice and tidy so far. Joe Baden is alongside David Final Form. We've got 35 laps of this track. Everything is nice and tidy so far. Clean racing rules. We've got David Final Form alongside Joe Baden. David Final Form on the inside, he will take first place. Then we've got Common alongside Joe Baden now. As we go down the hill, Bouncy also alongside Pertaco. David Final Form up into third position, has already got a bit of a gap there over Joe Baden. Bouncy who's trying to hold on into third position. He's got Common on the right hand side. And he will get himself through there into the position. Pertaco with a good start off the grid will also claim a position there on Bouncy. Bouncy dropping down the grid after being nearly in first on the first lap of the race. So there is your grid then. So David Final Form with a great start off the grid after starting, I believe, in fourth position. Is up into first now. Joe Baden in second, Common in third, Pertaco and DJ Dryker and Bouncy 3 wide as we go down the hill. Ezinu looks really good in practice, a little bit further back than I originally expected. He'll be looking to climb up the grid now. There's still first of 4 races this evening. They're all individual races, so they're not racing for points between races. Every race counts towards the ELO rankings. And David Final Form there looking very good at the moment. We've got a little mini endurance here, so they can't win the race in these first few laps, but they can definitely lose it. David Final Form and Joe Baden looking to build up some sort of pace here away from the rest of the pack. Common in third place. Common's first ever event here at Revline, alongside Ezin as well. DJ Draco, we've seen him before from Wreckfest 1. Good to see him here in Wreckfest 2. There he is, the switchback enjoyer. Nice to see, nice to see. So we've got huge gaps forming already. David Final Form in first, Joe Baden in second, Common in third. Then we've got a gap before we get to the pack here. Pertaco in fourth place, Bouncy in fifth, Ez in sixth, DJ Dryker 7th. Then we've got Staff Dog in 8th, Nuke in 9th place, and Smish Smosh Smash. That is your top 10. Ooh, Ezin. Not sure what happened to Ezin there, but he is into the wall. So we've got a good battle hotting up here between David Final Form and Joe Baden. We saw these two in the first ever Revline event just over a week ago. David Final Form, I believe, finished, was it in 5th place? Joe Baden in 2nd place, but David Final Form on top here at the moment then. We're on lap 7 of 36. Joe Baden looking for an inside line here on David Final Form. But David Final Form will hold on to it for now. He's got the inside line. Common not too far behind. If these two start battling with each other, it could be an opportunity for him to catch up. David Final Form went a little bit too wide there, but he looks like he had decent traction coming down the hill. Joe Baden in 2nd place. We'll have to wait for another opportunity. Loving this skin here from David Final Form. He's got the Revline logo there on the side there. Very nice, very nice. Right, so we'll go through the grid. There's first and 2nd place. We've got Common in 3rd. Pertaco goes very wide. That's going to allow Bouncy up into 3rd. Pertaco alongside DJ Dryker now. So Bouncy up into 4th place after Pertaco's little skirmish there into the barrier. Hopefully he's not picked up too much damage. Ezin with a recovery drive to do. Johnny Soccer at the back of the grid. Looks like they'll have a decent battle with Noob School there. It's about to enter lap 9 of 36. David Final Form still ahead at the moment after a good start off the grid. Joe Baden in 2nd place. Decent sized grid here. We've got 12 people, which is more than I definitely expected for the first one of these that we are doing on a Monday evening. Good to see, good to see. Thank you very much for the follows and the subscribes, guys. After this race, I will read those out properly. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Everyone going very narrow here. Looks like Bouncy's looking to build a bit of a gap over the pack of Pertaco, DJ Dryker, and Nuke. Nuke entering the event after qualification, so he started right at the back of the grid. And he is up into the mid-pack now. Huge gaps forming already. We do have blue flag rules. We've got the great battle here between 1st and 2nd, David Final Form and Joe Baden. Common is catching up to this battle as well, looking to get himself involved. I absolutely adore his skin as well. Makes me all nostalgic seeing that. Love it, love it. So Common then, not seen him in Revline events before. Looks like he is a new face we need to think about when it comes to being at the top of these events. Looking like he's got really good pace at the moment. Joe Baden going wide, David Final Form going narrow. It's similar to the lap before, but they are at opposite ends of each other. Joe Baden now on the left, David Final Form on the right on lap 11 of 36. Joe Baden now in the lead, but David Final Form will not let him go easily. Joe Baden with a good defensive drive there, and he'll get a bit of a gap there over David Final Form. Common is catching up to them both. Maybe if Joe Baden can get a bit of a gap, he can clear them both. Pertaka, DJ Dryco, Nuke has keeping hold here of DJ Dryco and Pertaka. Good to see Nuke in a clean event as well. He did join us for the RNG last week. It's on again this Wednesday again as well. Sign-ups are already out. Looks like there's good battles all the way through then. Everyone is getting to have a decent race. Mish Mosh Smash, Noob School and Johnny Soccer all racing with each other. Good to see, good to see. But this battle is still going on. Joe Baden and David Final Form, first and second. Looks like they both picked up the pace there to clear Common by a little bit more. But if anyone makes a mistake like Joe Baden just did there a little bit, went a little bit wide, but he will have the inside line as we go into the next turn. And he will keep all of that first positions now. That has definitely allowed Common to catch up. We've got Bouncer there in the background having a bit of a lonely race now. They're in 4th place. Pertaka in 5th. We've got Nuke in 6th. Ezin in 7th place. Joe Baden, that's the biggest gap I've seen between 1st and 2nd so far. David Final Form is on a 34.297. We'll see what kind of time Joe Baden has got. Where is Joe Baden? Joe Baden on a 34.337. So they're equal gaps just about between 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Joe Baden, David Final Form, Common, that is your top 3. Then we've got Bouncy in 4th. We've got Pertaka in 5th. Nuke in 6th. Ezin in 7th. Then we've got Staff Dog and DJ Dryco having a good battle here. DJ Dryco gets the overtake there. He's got a bit of damage there as well. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, definitely a recognisable skin of DJ Dryco. He had skins like that in Wreckfest 1, if I do remember rightly. Smish Smosh Smash, Noob School and Johnny Soccer here having a good battle. Noob School said earlier that he'd just be left alone in last place, but it looks like he's having a good race here with Johnny Soccer. Good to see Johnny Soccer in Wreckfest 2 events as well. Nice to see you, nice to see you. So here is 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Joe Baden with a bigger gap now over David Final Form. Is on a 34.269 now in the race. And Common is definitely catching up to David Final Form. Looks like he's found his pace now. They'll be coming up to back markers. Hopefully they'll communicate with each other and let each other by. Blue flag rules are in effect. Similar gap here between Noob School and Johnny Soccer. Smish Mosh Smash having a bit of a lonely race there. Then we've got a huge gap before we get to Staff Dog, DJ Dryco. Great battle here between Nuke and Ezin. We'll keep an eye on this one. Nuke started at the back of the grid. Ezin a bit further up, but Ezin had to reset. Something happened to him earlier on in the race, and he's having to climb back through the field. They're on lap 17 of 36 at the moment. Just about at the halfway stage, and Ezin looking for a tidy way to overtake, but Nuke will have the inside line as we go down the hill. We are racing on the European Rallycross circuit in the switchback. Got some lovely skins on the grid as well. Ooh, Nuke goes a little bit wide there. That's going to allow Ezin to get an overtaking opportunity. He will go and have the inside line into the final 10. Will he get this overtake done? Yes, he will. Nicely done there by Ezin. There is Pertaka. I believe he's in 5th position. We've got Bouncy and Johnny Soccer. People are getting lapped now. They will allow the leaders to overtake. So we've got Common there in 3rd place. There is David Final Form. Smish Smash Smosh is being lapped. Please allow the leaders to overtake. Yes, nicely done, nicely done. So there is Joe Baden, our leader so far. Came 2nd in our first Revline of main event. currently in first in our first sanctioned Revline ranking race. David Final Form in second, Common in third place. We've got Bouncy here in fourth place. Noob School is a lap behind. And they will allow the leaders to overtake, hopefully. If Noob School knows what's going on. There we go. Maybe not. There he is. Noob School is on the wheel, but it didn't cause too much damage there to Bouncy. David Final Form building a big gap now to... Joe Baden building a big gap now to David Final Form. There is a gap between first and second there. Similar gap between David Final Form and Common in third. And there is Bouncy in fourth place. Bouncy doing very well so far in this event. He's improved a lot since our first event. Getting towards those podium positions now. Keeping it nice and tidy. We've got Ezin and Pertaka. Ezin has caught up already to Pertaka after overtaking Nuke a couple of laps ago. He's looking to climb up into fifth position after an incident at the beginning of the race. Ezin will be side by side as we go up the hill. Hopefully Johnny Soccer won't become too much an issue here. He will allow the leaders to overtake. Nicely done there, Johnny Soccer. Nicely done. So Pertaka in fifth, Ezin in sixth place. Down the hill we go. Pertaka goes a little bit wide and hits the wall. Noob School's going to allow them both to overtake. Nicely done, Noob School. Good to see. Pertaka goes a little bit wide. Ezin will have the inside line. He's going to get the exact same overtake done as he did on Nuke about 3 laps ago. Little Pertaka goes into the middle of the track there for a bit more of a defensive position, and he will hold on to it for now. Good defensive driving there from Pertaka. So Ezin will have to try again. Ezin will be looking to do this as quick as possible, as Bouncy is pretty far up the field there. He could maybe have 10 laps to catch up to Bouncy if he can get this done quickly. But Pertaka holding that inside line. Gets a little bit squirrely there, which will allow Ezin to be on the right. But Pertaka will go for the same defensive position in the middle of the track once again. So Ezin will have to figure something else out. Trying the same thing twice on 2 different drivers and figuring out that they both defend very differently. Pertaka down the hill is going to be on the left-hand side, Ezin on the right. And they will hold station for now. Pertaka making sure that he is in the right positions to defend at every single corner. We are seeing great defensive driving from him right here. Ezin looking like he's definitely got the pace over Pertaka. Pertaka just making sure there is little room to maneuver for him there. We'll keep an eye on this one. I'll look at the lead battle in a second, but this battle for 5th position is probably the closest battle we have on the track at the moment. We are on lap 24 of 36. Pertaka, he's going to swing a little bit wide there. Great defense, but ultimately a tiny mistake there from Pertaka allows Ezin to get the overtake done. So Ezin will move up into 5th position. So there's Bouncy in 4th place, having a very lonely race. There's Common in 3rd. There's David Final Form in 2nd. And there is Joe Baden there in 1st position. Joe Baden qualified on 1st. David Final Form got a very good start off the grid. But Joe Baden holding on to that 1st position ultimately, and then it's now pulling away from David Final Form for like a few tenths every single lap. And building a nice gap for himself there. Looks like Nuke is also catching up to Pertaka. Nuke starting on the back of the grid after not doing qualifying. Looking to find his way to 6th position on the grid here. There's DJ Dryker, Noob School, Johnny Soccer. So 10 laps to go here of this mini endurance. How much time does Ezin have? There is Ezin there in 5th place, and there is Bouncy in 4th. We'll keep an eye on that gap. It probably looks too big in 10 laps to catch up, but we will keep an eye on it. Any close battles? We've got a battle here between Noob School and Johnny Soccer. There have been similar gaps between these two all race. They've been very good at letting the leaders overtake. Johnny Soccer looks like he did catch up a little bit there. Noob School does pull away though. There's Smith, there's a DJ Dryker. Any close battles on track then? Let's find one, let's find one. Everyone is very, very spread out. Looks like Ezin is getting closer to Bouncy. But we've only got 8 laps to go. There is Ezin here, and here is Bouncy over here. Could Ezin close that gap? It is getting smaller and smaller every time I keep an eye on it. It's like Noob School will allow Joe Baden to overtake. He also let Johnny Soccer overtake as well. I'm not sure what Noob School was doing there. He was a bit too nice to everybody. He allowed Johnny Soccer to overtake, who was battling with 4th position. Ooh, Johnny Soccer hit the barrier a little bit there. David Final Form was caught a little bit there by him, but not too bad. There is Common in 3rd place. There is Staff Dog, he is a lap behind. We've got Bouncy there. Ezin still getting closer as he laps. Who was that he lapped there? That was Staff Dog. Smith Smash. The gap between Nuke and Pertaka is similar than it was before. Looking for a close battle. Looking for a close battle. There's First in 2nd. There's Common in 3rd. I think it's this one I want to keep an eye on. It is getting smaller. 6 laps to go. Ezin and Bouncy. Ezin on an absolute trek now to try and make his way towards Bouncy. He looks very, very good in practice. But he had an incident at the beginning of the race. And he fell all the way to the back, and now he's climbed his way up to 5th position with some really very good overtakes, especially on Pertaka. He was very patient, didn't try and push his way through. And he's now in 5th, getting ever closer to Bouncy. Bouncy will be sweating right now. If he's keeping an eye on the distance between him and Ezin, he may be getting worried right now. But there's only 5 laps of Ezin to do it. He'll have to catch up, and then he'll have to try and overtake. But the gap is getting smaller and smaller. Let's just see if there's anything else going on. Ooh, Pertaka and Nuke. Nuke is getting closer to Pertaka as well. This is a battle for 6th and 7th place. Got very similar liveries on these 2 vehicles. But yeah, Pertaka and Nuke very close on track. Nuke all the way from the back of the grid up into 7th place. Pertaka goes a little bit wide. Oh, and he nearly spins it out as well. That's going to allow Nuke to go side by side. But Pertaka is going to place his car in the middle of the track there. Ooh, Nuke getting a good run off the final turn as we go up the hill. Can he complete the overtake into turn 1? Got Pertaka on the left, Nuke on the right. Pertaka going a little bit wide. That'll allow Nuke to complete the overtake. Let's see if Pertaka will try something here into the next turn. He thought about it, but he was very respectful of his fellow driver there. And Nuke, ooh, he's going to go a little bit wide. They will swap around, and Pertaka will have the inside line now. Ooh, I need to look at something else as well, because I believe Ezin is all over the back of Bouncy. Oh, no, that's Johnny Soccer. I thought that was Bouncy there with the similar yellow colours of both of them, but Ezin is getting ever closer to Bouncy, and he has about 3 laps to catch up. I'm not sure he has enough time, because he'll have to get up to him and then he'll have to get an overtake done more or less straight away. But he is sweating right now. He is putting in those laps. Bouncy being very nice and steady, had a very, very good race so far. Can he hold on to 4th position? Let's just quickly look at that Nuke Pertaka battle. Pertaka still ahead for now. You battle for 6th and 7th place. Joe Baden and David Final Form. There's a huge gap between them both. About 4 or 5 seconds, so nothing to really keep an eye on there. So here is Ezin and Bouncy. 4th position up for grabs here for Ezin. 2 laps to go. Ezin, after looking very, very good in practice, fell all the way down towards the back of the grid and had to reset. He's climbed his way up into 5th position. Looking for an overtake here on Bouncy. The leaders are about to enter the last lap of the race. Just a few more corners and Bouncy and Ezin will be doing the same. We've got a last lap shootout between Bouncy and Ezin for 4th and 5th position. How is Bouncy going to defend? So we're on the last lap now. Joe Baden first, David Final Form 2nd, Common 3rd, Bouncy here in 4th place. We've got Ezin in 5th. Definitely got the pace advantage over Bouncy. But can he get an overtake done? Looks like Bouncy has definitely picked up the pace here on this last lap. He's going to hold a very narrow line there over Ezin, but Ezin has found a way to get side by side. Is he going to be able to be on the inside into the final 10? Yes, he is. He's going to hold onto it, and Ezin on the last lap will claim 4th position from Bouncy. Ezin absolutely sweating there, got it back into 4th position, and gets the overtake on Bouncy on the final lap. Good racing from the both there. Nice race there, Bouncy as well. Looking a lot cleaner, a lot faster than you was last race out. Picking up the pace, learning from some of the fast guys here in Wreckfest 2. It's good to see. And that is the first race of the night over. We've got 3 more of these to go. The other one will start in about 25 minutes. Well, the qualification. Ezin gets the fastest lap of the race. Yeah, nice recovery drive from Ezin there. I'll just get these results. Joe Baird in first, David Final Form second, and Common is your top 3.